What's up, everyone? It's me, Adam Prime, and we are back for another TokuBrew podcast this week in Toku. And with me, as always, joining me for the ever wondrous rides that King Oger and Geets is giving us.
Ah, such beautiful travels. Hi, I'm Stormy.
And yeah.
Yeah.
I introduced the shows and you at the same time, so that saved us a little bit of time.
That you just wasted explaining it.
Fuck. Oh, sure. Well, whatever. I'm not monetized.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I don't even care anymore. Like what?
Fuck.
Like, this week is quite.
It just reminds me of that one video game. The fuck ass.
Oh my god.
God damn it! Like.
Okay, no.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. Oh my god. Before we get too sidetracked, it's such a weird place, like where we are, because it's like we're starting Geets' like final arc, I would say.
Oh yeah, like we're basically entering the end game.
And weirdly, like
the finale.
Like this episode, like for King Oger, like I just want to get right into it. Feels like a finale almost.
Yeah,
it would be the end of a miniseries.
Exactly. I love that you finally kind of got what I was trying to talk about earlier. Because you remember what I told you? Like, oh, this almost feels like a fan film. Like,
yeah,
that's
you're
like,
trying to convince
it's
yourself
too
it's
good.
Not real.
It's too good to be real, essentially.
Yeah.
So the fact that like this is gonna continue on, I'm just like,
yeah.
Thank God. Like, didn't I actually have like something very specific to say about it? I remember I talked with you about this like off screen.
I don't remember. Maybe we'll remember it as we talk about it.
Whatever. Good stuff, man.
Yeah, like it's like this is the big episode. Like I'm not like it's oddly enough, I will say the big thing that technically happened this episode. The big thing this episode was like obviously them uniting together to become Legend King Oger. Like that was in the preview, and do we just want to talk about that fight right now? Because it's like I feel like there's not a lot to talk about, and I know we're like jumping to the end.
I was about to be like, that's like the end of the episode, though. Like,
yeah,
I feel like it deserves the build up, and like we probably have to talk about the things around it.
I guess
you're just over eager. It's good stuff, man, but come on, let's savor it.
I would say, well, like, that's what I'm saying. It's like all the other stuff, I'm like, weirdly enough, I will say, like, the final fight, as cool and worth it as it was.
Very quick, though.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's my, like, thing where it's like, the rest of it felt so much better.
Yeah, like, the build up to it, and this was just kind of like the reward or the payoff, you know?
So, everyone was choked out by Death Nyark.
Yeah.
And he kidnapped Gyra. He said, fuck it. I'll take him myself. And you just see Gyra was dreaming when he was telling the children, the orphan children, the story of King Oger, and like, hey, they need to come together, and like
there's
like
added
this whole thing. Stuff. Yeah, it was like a whole like line thing, and it'll come back in a minute. But it's like he literally was just saying, he's like, oh yeah, when the knights all were willing to work together, they performed a miracle.
Mantra.
Yeah, mantra. And you get to see, like, that they have a book with the tapestry and shit.
Yeah, I was like, where did you, by the way. Like,
yeah,
I was just like, would they have something like that? Like, because it just felt, like, so, like, official. Like, something that would be, like, in, like, the king's possession, and then, like, these random orphans have it, and then you just fucking side-eyed me, and was just like, the library? And I was like, go fuck yourself.
I deserved that, but it's like as soon as I said it,
I was like, "You're not wrong," but also
in the library and stuff. So
also,
like...
assuming that they can read.
Well, at least she can. She was reading it,
and a woman at that.
Jeez, who do you think you are, Gaston? But like, yeah.
Oh,
so...
I need a freaking cover of like, I need a Reculus Gaston cover.
Oh my! Somebody.
Pretty
please at least draw me that?
Well, I mean, I might have to now. Someone remind me. Hey.
Oh my god, wait, and if this isn't edited by the time you draw it, I will put it in.
Sure, why not?
You can see Recula's guest on.
Here's my beautiful artwork, maybe.
Maybe not. I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I'll have to just remind me when you're editing, or when Bellarok will remind me when he's editing.
Or I would say I'll just remind you tomorrow and just like see what happens.
Sure.
Because I'm like, who knows when I'll edit it, and I feel like the more time I give you.
Oh, you mean Bellarok editing? Obviously.
He stabbed me. I'm about to say, hey, we do half and half now.
I see. So
Yeah.
so you take some of the workload off him.
Well, I'm about to say outside of doing everything else. So yeah, I don't know what he does.
He leaves it on the cutting room floor.
Oh yeah. So I'm about to say, how far have we gotten into this episode? Have we even talked about?
We got to Death Nyark.
But yeah, no. All of a sudden we find out that's just kind of a dream or like a memory that guy.
Oh yeah, the
having.
orphans. My bad. We hear about the legend.
Well, yeah, no, and then immediately Death Nyark's like, "Hey, wake up! I'm hanging you by my tentacles."
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, "Give me your shit."
It's like wrapped around his chest, by the way. I know this screenshot looks a little iffy, but he's the tentacles are around his chest.
Yeah, I'm about to say we did not get a good shot. It's just boots hanging, which looks ominous.
But we cut to everybody who just is injured,
and they are all fucked up.
Yeah.
Like all of them. Like some of them aren't even conscious yet. Like Yama's little dude. I don't even remember his name.
Sebastian.
Like Sebastian hasn't woken up. Kuroda.
And Rita's like still in the background.
Yeah, and Rita's like, this might be my fault. I could have saved them from not getting strangled by the tentacles. Like, it's intense. Like, you even see, like, Blue is very upset.
Oh, like, he's, like, straight so emotional. He is
He's
yelling
like,
and screaming.
Yeah, it's like he's on the verge of tears. Like,
I mean,
you can tell, like...
There's a lot of, like, emotions behind it. It's almost... Here's the thing, like, this was one of the more touching episodes because we get to see so much of, like, how these groups of people care about their people, and also, like...
how their people care about them.
Yeah, and especially, like, their little friends.
Yeah, they're retrainers, I guess.
I'm just gonna call them their little friends. You know who I'm talking about.
Say hello to my little friend!
But, yeah, and it's just, like, and the acting is just top-notch.
Yeah, and
like, it's always been good, but, like, they knew that, like, this was, like, the big moment, so...
But, yeah, no, Rita does wake up.
Well,
yeah, Rita's just says it's her fault, and like
Sebastian and
what were we calling her?
Kagaragi
Kaburagi is
Kaburagi, right? His friend B, his friend is still unconscious. He and Sebastian kind of stay asleep.
Yeah, and
Recula's this motherfucker.
He literally is he comes onto the screen. He's like, "Oh, good, the four of you peasants are all in the same room.
Just to make my job easier." Oh.
Fucking being a dick. And he's just literally like, well, King Oger can't save all 5 nations at once, and the treaty is gone, so surrender me your shit, and you'll be a higher priority.
Yeah, we'll tackle yours first. Which is, like, the most just piece of shit thing I've ever heard.
Like, you literally have, like, just, like, literally...
I was spewing venom the first time we saw it.
Like, Kaburagi is literally just yelling at him, being like, this is no time for politics. And he's just trying to monopolize over it. And you're just like, you son of a bitch.
God, he's awful. I love it. It's one of those people
so,
I love to hate him.
He's so, like, Shakespearean evil, you know what I mean?
That's a good way of putting it, actually. Like, Shakespearean evil.
It's like, he's not cartoon evil. Like, he's, like, over the top. He's still over the top, though, but it's, like, it's not quite cartoon. It's, like, dramatized.
Like a theater going 100%.
Exactly.
You know?
Like, he...
I wonder if any of these actors are from theater, and that's why they have, like, this feeling towards it.
Maybe. I don't know. You never know where they find some
That would be
of them.
interesting.
But, like, oh my god, the balls on him to do this. And everyone's like, what the fuck do we do? And, like...
Because they don't know where Gira... They don't have Gira.
Yeah.
So they can't... Reckless is the only way for them to use King Oger.
And they were literally just being like, well, then what? We can't save all 5, and like I want to say it's. Oh my god.
It's essentially like, you have to. And I don't know if we mentioned this. I'm realizing, but the Bugnark have the big chrysalises again.
Well, that was from last episode.
Here's the thing. This is what Reculus was telling them about. Like before, he's like, "Oh, you'll get priority." We didn't actually tell what the danger was.
To be fair, if you watched last episode, you know what they were.
I know, but like the big cocoons are back.
Cocoon.
I couldn't say
no
it.
cocoonus.
The cocoons are back, and this time they have like roots going deep into the earth, so he can't destroy them the same way.
Yeah.
And so that's why he's like, if you surrender your land and your people or whatever, if you surrender everything to me, then I'll give yours priority. And they don't have Gira, so it's like either surrender to me or your kingdom falls, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I guess you will be going bye-bye and no longer exist.
Yeah, it's either like basically like I guess almost like in slavery in a way.
Yeah.
Or just like either like your people become under my rule or they die.
Exactly. And like he again, fucking Yellow was pretty much bringing up like Legend King Ogier and everything, and like, and Yama loses it, and he's like, fucking shut the fuck up about your fairy tales. Like, we don't have time to just sit around and just
for hopes and dreams and fairy tales and whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like, and then
doesn't she argue back like,
well, yeah, she does. It says like, right next to it.
What are hopes and dreams?
But without hopes and dreams, our only option is to surrender.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, depressing but true.
Oof.
Oof.
Biggest oof.
And we then immediately get him back to, like, Deathnark just being like, Gyra, give me your shit. And he's just like, no. He's like, fine, you're gonna go on top of a mountain. He's just like, God.
Whatever.
God. He's just like, alright, I guess. And you literally see each of them
contemplating what they're gonna do. It's like, do I give Reculus everything?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I basically just like have the potential of all of my people dying?
Yeah, and Kaburagi immediately is just like, he's like, even if we have to leave our land, at least we could return someday.
All of them are just like, essentially, I guess I just have to turn everything over to Reculus because I care too much about my people.
He's like, I can't let them die.
Yeah.
Like, pretty much, and that's something.
And then the lesson that Gira was trying to teach everyone kind of settles in, and they do the right thing.
Well, no, here's the... And then, like, we go to, like, Rita just with her muffin. Just, like, being like, well, this sucks. The world's pretty messed up, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And...
What do we do, Rita?
Yeah, exactly. And then you see, oh my god, what were we calling her?
Which one?
Her retrainer. Her person.
Oh.
Her friend.
I don't remember. I know we gave her a funny name, but...
Oh yeah, it was Fiona.
Oh yeah.
Or because it was like Morphonia, Fiona. So yeah, she got her magical key picking skills out. But we'll come back to that.
We'll come back to this scene because we start off with Blue,
and then we get Yama literally just being like, "Hey, I know you're not feeling great, and you just got strangled to death, but we have a job we need to do."
And he just looks so fucking upset. And just being like, I have to turn things over to Reculus.
He's like, I'm giving up our land.
And he's just like, you can't do that. And he's just like, this is the first time he says, he's like, I am the king. Like, he doesn't say president.
Yeah.
He's like, I am your king. This is what I have to do. And
he's
this, like... by the way, this scene is amazing. I love the acting in this scene. It was great. And I can't remember their name. What is
I don't remember Blue. Well, wait, I have
Blue's friend.
I have it open right here.
Shiroka? Anyway, so they are just like, even they call him king, of just being like, you may be our king, but like, you're Yama first, and who the hell are you if you aren't the one on top?
Yeah, if you give up the top spot.
And what an interesting lesson to put in a kid's show.
Yeah, where it's like, hey, make sure you're being true to yourself.
You need to be true to yourself before you're true to anyone else.
Exactly.
Which is
Pretty
an
much just,
interesting position to put, like, someone that's a king in, because you would always expect that from them. But in a way, that's them teaching the children that lesson, and that's really good.
Well, and it's
or I guess not just children.
Well, it's one of those things to show you that, like, their people are behind them, though.
Yeah, just like, we're willing to stick by you.
Yeah, it's like they're just like, because we even saw that in that episode where they're like, hey, we follow you. We ride or die with you, you know what I mean? And then we immediately...
Like, it goes both ways, because, like, that was what Giro was kind of trying to say. I think I didn't quite understand it, like, in the moment of, like, what exactly the lesson was. I think I even asked you, but, like, I get it now. Yeah. Like, this was the lesson that he was trying to teach of, like yes, you're ride or die for them, but your people will also ride or die for you. Like, you need to be each other's backup. You need to stand behind each other, not just you as their protector, and then them just always just being held, like, behind them, essentially.
And then,
I don't even mean that, like, hiding behind them is more of what I meant. Even and then Bees guy. Bees dude.
Oh, Kuroda. We'll get back to it. We'll go in order.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
somehow skipped over Sebastian.
Yeah, well, it's
who
like,
wakes up.
Immediately, like, you see him deal with that scene, and then, like, you immediately go into Sebastian pretty much giving, like, the same kind of spiel, but him just saying, you're
how
too
unselfish of you.
Yeah, he's like, you're too focused on protecting us. And, like, and everything, but, like, his point was... She was like, well, I can't lose you guys. You are the most important to me, are my people. And, like, and he's just being like, no, you're too afraid to lose us. You're not, and it's like, we don't want you to worry about us. We're gonna fall. It's like, exactly.
We will fight with you.
Yeah, it's like, we want to go down the same path you are and follow you through. And it's like...
Like, don't deter just to try and protect us because we're willing to fight, and I guess you could say.
Well, yeah, exactly. And it's like... It's just that moment where...
I hope that this is, like, coming across in a way to, like, understand.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if we're over-explaining.
Well, as soon as
I
saw Sebastian getting up, I literally said, with great power comes great responsibility.
I forgot about that.
You just, like, I had to pause because, like, you just were
It was really funny.
Just, like, that's how he looked. I was like, oh my god, he's Uncle Benning. No, Sebastian, you're so young.
Like, I feel like I was gonna make a very similar joke, but then, like, yours was a slightly better, so it killed me. What can I say?
Like... And I just think it's kind of funny. I have a screenshot that says you're too focused on protecting us. Mm-hmm. That's funny.
Alright, so
again,
now
another scene of great acting.
So good. That one's a lot more subtle, though.
Mm-hmm. And then we get to Kuroda giving, obviously, Kaburagi the same speech.
And funny enough, I kind of learned in a completely backwards way what they are. Because I was like, oh, like...
Kaburagi. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I kept trying to tell you that one. Or I tried at least once, but...
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember. You actually had the name of what they were, right?
No, they were Kuroda, and, like, he's one
No, I mean, like, what I'm talking about, of, like, what I realized about them, of, like, oh, so they hide, like, their faces and aren't allowed to speak, which was something I thought was, like, really cruel. It's like, oh, why would you do that?
Oh, is alone Kuroko.
Oh, they're just called Kurokos. Right.
Yeah, he's Kuroda. And he's a Kuroko.
Okay. And, it's like, oh, it's because, like, he has to deal with deception so much that, like, if, like, someone were to, like, somehow recognize the same person in different scenarios, or, like, if they were to, like, slip up and accidentally let the wrong thing go to the wrong person, then it's like, oh, like, that ruins everything. So, and it turns out, like, oh, because he's based off of, like, an old samurai thing, and, like, that's actually a thing that used to happen.
Mm.
Which was, like, I probably should have known from the beginning, but I learned in a completely backwards way, so...
Well, yeah, and it's like...
And he's like, oh, I have to speak out of turn, and he gives the same speech.
He even says, in spite of my etiquette and everything, he literally just tells him, he's like, hey, you've literally fought, and you've made yourself look like the worst for us. It's like, we know you have the best intentions with us, so we don't want you to give up now. Mm-hmm. It's really kind of nice. And
like, this is the time for you to strike. That would be the... Like, we know that's what you would usually do, so please
just do it.
Do it, you know?
And then we immediately see Rita.
And this
she thinks
broke
she snapped.
me. This broke me.
Yeah, so Morphonia Is that her name? If I'm saying
Fiona.
it right.
So Fiona.
Yeah. So
She breaks in.
she literally just then like moves Muffin's arms.
They're behind them and they wrap them around
This
Rita.
is the big Muffin.
The big boy. And they actually start to talk for Muffin to Rita.
Yeah, like how she does, like to the deeper voice.
Yeah. And just
It's so nice.
it made me so sad, but it's really funny. I remember at the one point, you actually have a screenshot. Rita makes a very specific face in like mid of the conversation of just like, oh shit, I've snapped, haven't I?
Just oh shit.
Ah shit, like I'm crazy.
And
But it was so touching, and I also made the joke of just like at the end of it, you just hear Fiona like press her face into move and just. Because it was so emotional. It was
yeah, it was
sad.
such a sweet moment too, where it's like, hey, it's okay to ask for help every once in a while.
Just
and
this
everything...
once, I don't. It's just like, don't you want to be keeping friends? I don't want to get hurt or whatever it was.
Or no, it's like I don't want to lose you.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And it was just,
they're like, no, like I have a duty to be impartial and.
Where it's like, yeah, even if it's like, even if it's really needed.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's okay to ask help just this once, right? Like.
Well, yeah, and then immediately we go to Death Nyark just being like, all right, you ready to see all these fuckers die? And he's just like, what the fuck? And just pushes him off a cliff. And, because he pretty much just says, Death Nyark's like, I'm the king of Terra. And he's like, Gyra's like, Una reverse, actually, no. And then he throws him off a cliff. And he lands, and one of the Bug Nyark is straight up in an Ultraman pose. Like, you can't deny me that this is not an Ultraman
Center
pose.
focus.
Like, it literally is the focus. Like, I'm going to throw it up right now. Like, he is Ultramaning.
A spotlight comes down and rains on him.
Yeah, exactly. And we just have the fight beginning. And they are going at it. Like, all of them are fighting the Bug Nyark. And they immediately start, like, Death Nyark starts going towards Gyra, and Gyra gets, like, these wings. It was, like, pretty cool.
Didn't the other characters get their stuff, or not yet?
Yeah, I think they showed it off. Yeah, they did
I remember that was something. I was like, yes! It's so cool! Like,
yeah, and it's, like...
another just, like, I love it.
And then all of a sudden, like, you think Gyra's gonna get beat up by Death Nyark and his tentacles, and then,
the bugs hatch.
Like,
and
yeah, the bugs start hatching, which we will get to that in a second, but they all immediately all start ganging up on Death Nyark, and he gets, like, pretty much just being like, you guys are lesser life forms, fuck you, you're gonna die anyway, see you later. And he immediately, like you said, the cocoons, which we have all the classics, weird fridge monster, potato bug, I think, butt face, gun face, that guy, I don't remember.
And Ted.
Yeah, and Ted. You guys can decide which one's Ted. Which I think you should know if you heard all the names we gave the other one. I'm realizing one of the characters is just unnamed. Just unnamed.
Yeah, like we've seen them in this episode.
Yeah, I know, we saw him for a second. Which it's just so weird because it's like we were building up to this moment. It was just like so emotional and everything.
And
it was really well done. It feels like an ending, like we were saying. It's like, and then like they were pretty much just being like, oh,
well, I guess we don't really got a plan. Let's summon the legend.
Yeah, exactly. And then like
They
Kabutan shows up, and they're just all like, "Hey guys," they're like, "Oh, did you guys work out your whole thing?" And I'm like, "Wait, are they saying these bugs are
poly?
Yeah, are they poly? Or are they all just hanging out and dating each other?"
I swear to God, if I don't get like a spin-off
we
short
mentioned this last week
of my bug soap opera, I swear to God.
It has to be exactly like those Mexican soap operas you see where you don't understand.
Oh my gosh,
it, but you just start seeing somebody slap and you're like, oh.
And they
shit.
like roll down a staircase.
Oh
Like,
my God. Yes.
But you can
with
tell.
giant robot bugs.
Yeah.
But it's also in like put it in like Mandarin.
Again, I also made a slice of life anime last time.
I want
but
that.
anyway, so they
So,
all
yeah.
and they all do like, is the roll call yet?
No, the roll call is in the
Because they
when
both
they're
put their
in
swords
King
together.
Well, no, they re-say, like, the oath that they were learning in, like, what the orphans were learning in the beginning. So it's not quite like their roll call. Their roll call happens while they're in
Yeah, but they put all their swords together, like, in the opening, and it's
Well, yeah, they
cool.
put all their and they put up all their swords after they said the whole, like, legend thing of, like, oh, us uniting together, we are bringing forth a miracle.
Well, before this, there was actually a moment, remember, when Gira had doubts, it's just like, I'm not actually a king.
Well, yeah, no.
And then everyone, like, gave, like, their own reassurances in, like, different ways.
Well, yeah, it's like...
That was really sweet. And
Well, yeah.
I want that moment to at least be voiced. That was a very nice
That was
moment.
really nice. It's like, you had a... B... I'm about to say, B pretty much was like, oh, you deceived the gods to think you're a king, so why not? Just let's go, bro. Let's go.
You're a king.
And Rita just says there's no crime, so...
There is no crime.
So,
it's for the people. There is no crime.
So, yeah, and then we immediately see Legend King Oger, and he looks amazing.
So good.
That's why he's on the shelf that we can look at right now. We're looking at the toy and at the picture.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
I honestly thought the thing in the show was the toy for a second.
It's really nicely.
It looks really good. But I like a really, really good version of it. I mean,
yeah. So
you can't mass produce something that beautiful and
so now they're just like, hey, let's make a miracle.
Being expensive.
They're like, oh, let's do a miracle, and then they just whoop. Like, there's not even much
I think the special ability is essentially that it can teleport.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's
so it is able to be in all of the kingdoms all at once.
So yeah, it literally circles them all into one kingdom and then annihilates them.
I have to give a special shout out to Rita being the MVP as usual.
Of you get the death penalty.
Of just like, they showed up, they said, you get the death penalty,
Laser
slaughtered them, and then just left. I was just like, yes.
And then, like,
yes.
at the end, they're like, oh, now let's all yell our names so everyone can know of these legends. And this is essentially the roll call, which I didn't get screenshots of all of them, but, like, Blues was, like, the wise king or something, or, like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you, like, see them all go through their thing, and, like, Rita's is still, like, a sovereign.
Yeah,
which, again, is
because every single one of these had a version of king or queen.
Or lord.
Well, no, like, even in B's, it said lord, the lord of whatever his thing was, and it was king, and then he said king, like...
Oh.
Like, that was one of the things for me, this kind of confirms that Rita as a character is gender neutral, because they very explicitly used gendered language except for them. And again, like, just like because I feel like it makes sense in the show.
Well,
and
that even fits her character because she's so neutral.
Their character. I don't know what I just say. I'm sorry.
Well, like that's what I'm saying. Where it's like it also fits their character because it's like
I just feel like
neutral down the line.
Yeah.
Like it's like they have such. Like, they can't be biased in any way, shape, or form. Not even their gender is making them biased.
Again, I just...
Like, that's what
it's
they're
interesting.
doing.
I feel like that kind of confirmed it for me. If, like, you headcanon a different way, that's totally fine. That's just kind of, I guess, mine at the moment. I feel like it kind of confirms it, but... I feel like it's still technically open for...
It's pretty much neat.
Speculation.
And we immediately then, after that... Reculus is taking credit for it all.
Of course.
Because he's a fuck.
But we do see just, like, an enraged stare, because now he knows that Gira is still out there, but he can't let everyone else know that he knows this, and it probably pisses him off even more.
We'll get to the preview. And then the Death Nyark's like, I'm not dead yet! My bug, guys! And then we hear the narrator say, maybe I guess I can't afford to keep sleeping, huh?
Yeah, or like I think they said something about making an appearance too.
Well, yeah. This is I never thought about it, but our Spider Kumos is the narrator.
Yeah.
And we see he's like I'm just going into the preview. He's a man in an iron mask.
A spider mask.
And that's all. I'm very excited. He's going to be stealing Gyra's casket.
Yeah, because they, like, make a funeral for them, but I think they're also, like, trying to make a plot of, like, how he can suddenly be alive again or something.
And, yeah, that's it. It was a great episode, though.
Yeah, oh, my god, yeah.
Like, do you have anything else to say? I feel like we really did express everything.
It's just a pretty good episode. Lots of emotions, lots of really good acting, lots of really touching moments. I can't complain.
All right, now let's get into Geats, which was also really good. Which let's just open up with, they just fucking murder Cheermy.
Yeah, straight up.
They just straight murder him, and he is now one of the first actors to get flowers for them to wrap filming. So he's gone. He's dead. Like no other character so far that I'm aware of. And if you remember somebody doing it, cool. Tell me down in the comments. I legitimately don't remember anyone else getting flowers up to this point. Like,
yeah, as far as I can remember, you haven't mentioned it, and you usually mention that kind of stuff
to
me.
And it's literally Geats is just being like, you're my enemy now, and
to cheer me.
Yeah, exactly.
He actually turns on Buffa, and it's just like, I'm not fighting you right now.
Yeah, exactly. And like, Cheermy's like, this is slanderous talk, and like, he's just like, because you're making my mom do what she doesn't want to do, and he's like, what if we made whatever?
Straight up, just admits it.
Yeah, pretty much. He's like, what if we did? And then Buffa's like, excuse me, I'm going to kill him?
I'm realizing he's basically just getting fucking bounced between the two of them fucking him up, right? That's essentially what just happened.
Well, kind of, but like, Buffa was like, this is my kill, and then murders him.
Mm-hmm. Like, straight up. Yeah.
And then we get...
What a twist. What a twist.
And then we get the new Game Master, Suru? Man in the Robes. Cult leader.
Invisible Man.
Yeah, he's just hands and like a hat.
I imagine because the whole thing was like, they choose to take physical forms.
I guess.
Was like the whole thing. What if they are just like kind of incorporeal beings?
Yeah, let's get into him. Let's just get right into it. So yeah, he's the guy who created the Desire Grand Prix. Yeah,
the original creator.
Yes.
The guy that basically made those giant gladiatorial death games. Guess what he's gonna be doing?
So yeah, he's... Oh, I wonder if he'll use Glare 1 then.
I wonder if he'll recognize Geats' coin.
Well, I imagine.
Since he was the one that probably gave that reward out himself.
Yeah, and we are starting the Desire Royale, whatever.
I honestly think it's Royale, because it makes sense, because Battle Royale.
And he's literally just being like, okay.
Do you want to talk about the intro at all?
No, we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
He immediately is just like, all right, you guys want to decide if the Desire Grand Prix stays or not? What's your wish? Tell me what it is. And then drops everyone a driver. I'm 90% sure.
I don't know if it's everyone, but like a large chunk of people.
Well, no,
at the very least.
They literally said the final survivor is given the right.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it was everybody.
Oh, it might just be Desire Gods, like only winners.
I don't know.
Oh, that's fair. No, I'm not sure.
It's just a lot of people.
Yeah, either way, yeah, there's a lot of people.
Either way, it's a lot of people. A lot of probably returning people, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's pretty much Ryuki rules. Final Riders gets the wish.
A classic death game, you know.
Yeah, and we even see shots from the movie. They legitimately just show Oja, Ryuga, Knight, Revi, and Vice in their
with
their Desire Driver get-ups, like. Like, they just so, like, the movie's canon. In some way, because they showed it in the show.
I guess we'll have to watch it.
We're definitely going to have to watch it. And we see Baroba see the world, and it's pretty much, hey, if you die or you lose, you no longer get your desired world.
And she's interested. Big shocker.
Oh, yeah, by the way, when Shirumi died and his vision driver fell to the floor, Keikura stole it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we immediately see him go to Baroba.
Of all people.
Yeah, and he's just like, hey, do you want to help me revive Keiwa? And she's just like, why the fuck would I do that? And he's just like, I could show you something that has him suffering.
No, the greatest suffering.
Oh, yeah. Oh, witness the greatest suffering. And he whispers something, and she calls him a naughty frog.
No.
He's a naughty frog.
Oh, my God. Yeah. And sadly, like, after a sad nightmare, it's Keiwa's sister.
Yeah, Keiwa.
Sarah.
Sarah?
Sarah.
Sarah?
Probably Sarah, but...
Yeah, but...
I thought it was Sarah, just how it was written.
Yeah, but, it was pretty much Keiwa just being like, I'm leaving forever. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Ghosting. And then Keikura is just like... Kikura?
Kekura.
Either way.
We thought it was Kikura, but I heard them say Kekura.
Kekura, Kekura. Oh, yeah. Either way. is she's starting to freak out at his sight, and he's just like,
because he's talking and stuff.
Stop throwing shit at me. Do you want your brother back or not? And she's like, yeah. And should we just get into it now? Because they show it later. Like what he said, what literally their deal is, and it's literally just if she entered, he would be able to bring her back.
If she entered the death game, like he would bring him back for her, and she had to like touch the ID core and get all of her memories back again.
Yeah. So. Oof. So yeah, I guess she also now remembers her parents dying. That's upsetting. Yeah. Which, by the way, she's in the intro.
Yeah, and that was one of the differences. Do you want to talk about those real quick?
Yeah, I about to say, yeah, we can pretty much then say then the next morning, Kay was obviously revived, and...
He doesn't remember anything.
Yeah, he's pretty much back to playing lottery tickets all the time, Kaywa.
Yep.
And, man, the intro... Kaywa in this intro is...
Dead inside.
Like, he is dead inside. He is out to kill. He is upset. And then you have a sister, which I don't know what animal that she's going for. Like, do you know? Like, I'm curious on what...
I don't really know for sure.
It's like, it's definitely not another Tanuki. I imagine she's a raccoon. I do know one thing. Do you want to guess what she's a remold of?
What? Neon?
No.
What?
Well, maybe the ears, but, like, she's a repaint and, like, remold of Mary.
Oh.
Yeah, you can tell by the eyes. So, yeah, I'm wondering, is she a raccoon or, like a skunk? I don't know. I'm looking into it right now.
I mean, we'll probably learn pretty soon, to be fair. Well, if we don't have it yet. Like...
Yeah. It's like Hakubi? What is this? What is a masked palm chevet?
Oh, what is this baby?
Oh, it's like a little rat animal.
It's like a...
The masked palm chevet, also called the gemface chevet?
I think it might be chevet, or... I don't know, honestly.
Either way, it's in Southern Asia, apparently. It's these things.
It's, it reminds me a little bit of a red panda with, like, the tail.
Kind of looks like a ferret.
Oh, a little bit, what are they, like a little lemur-esque? It's almost like if like a lemur and a raccoon had a baby. Cute, though.
Yeah, so that's what animal she's based off of. We just found out.
And we do see Sparrow is also in the intro. And
I hope he dies.
Like what? I do too. I hope he dies brutally. But
well, yeah, because I think we saw him when they sent the drivers down too.
Yeah, he got one and picked it up. And like the Jamato Grand Prix, there's like two different groups of people in the intro, and there's
I guess for the Desire Grand Prix and against.
Possibly, like,
I think that's what this is.
Because one of the things that I said off camera was, I wonder if it's like, because the whole thing with the goddesses, everything needs to be in balance of like, wasn't it like Kekaro that actually talked about that too? Of just like, for every rich person, there's a poor person.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm just wondering, it's just like, there was only one of Buffa, which was this overpowered slaughterhouse. And there was nothing that could possibly stand against him. Thus, Geats was created to make it equal, so that there's...
We're not sure. I think it has to do with more Surumi. But I think that's actually what this is now, thinking about it. Because look, this is how like usually Desire Grand Prix looks. And they're all these characters are for and want something from the goddess. So they want the Desire Grand Prix to continue.
Oh, and they want it to end. That's fair. I never thought about it that way, but yeah.
I think that's what they're going for. Because Geats wants his mom freed. And that definitely ends it. And Buffa
probably just wants
Buffa's
it
just
to
like
end,
wants it over. He doesn't care. He wants it out of their world.
His wish, we haven't seen his wish, but it's more than likely gonna be something like just I wish the Grand Prix never existed.
We heard other people's wishes.
It'd probably be like, I wish it never existed, and then Geats himself would probably disappear.
Yeah. By the way, okay, now let's get back to the episode. So yeah, Keiwa has no memories, and he immediately...
He calls Kekaro ugly.
Yeah, he's like, it's kind of ugly. And he's just like... He's like, ugly. He's like, don't talk.
And it's like, just really ominous. We'll talk about it more.
And
I imagine.
he's just like, hey, keep your end of the bargain. And because he's like, I don't know if I could revive him next time. If I could revive him again.
I don't know if I could help him. But...
Exactly. So she's just being like, I don't want him to join the Grand Prix. And everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we then go to Neon.
And she's talking to Kyun.
Yeah, and Kyun's just like, no, I can't just... Kyun's like, okay, you ready to go to the future? And she's like, no, I can't just leave. She's like, I have to settle things here. She's like, I don't care about leaving my family, whatever. She's like, I can't leave my fans. Like,
yeah, they actually care about me, and I don't want them to just miss me.
And she finally gets a new wish.
Yeah, and her wish is a world where everyone has forgotten her.
Exactly, where it's like, it's
So
both
she doesn't
weirdly
make any
selfish, but weirdly selfless.
Yeah, like, her reasoning was, like, she never existed in the first place.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, fuck, that's depressing.
And if this works on Den-O rules, that means she dies.
When
Stops
she dies,
existing.
when she dies, it's her and her second death all at the same time.
I guess so.
But
yeah, no, it's like, do you really have anything to say with this interaction with Kyun? Because Kyun was pretty much just like, hey, you should not join this.
I don't know, like, I'm wondering if she realizes that Kyun would also forget her? Or she add an asterisk to her wish, like...
I don't think so. I don't even think she would leave. I think she's just, like, planning to erase herself, pretty much.
Essentially.
Like... And it's like, again, it's such one of those weird lines where it's like, I both get it, and it's both like, ugh.
Again, it is just selfish, but...
It's weird.
It's selfish for a selfless reason, I guess. Because, like, oh, she wants to be completely erased, but... Which is kind of... It's like, oh, I just don't want people to remember me. But it's like, oh, I don't want my fans to, like, miss me. And I'm like, I guess, like, she doesn't want them to go through that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like...
It's like, I guess, like, selfless, question mark. Like,
yeah. And then we immediately go to Sarumi and Ace, and they're pretty much talking.
So how are you alive?
Yeah,
like,
he's just like, I don't fucking know. He's like, maybe a fucking staff scheme.
Maybe my sister just wanted me alive or whatever.
And all of a sudden, yeah, she's just like, oh, I did make a wish.
She's like, I don't have any powers like that. I'm just a navigator, but I did make a wish.
I don't know. I'm pretty suspicious after fucking cult leader at the end of last episode said, you're finally awaking, Sarumi. It's almost like that like weird thing in Revenge of the Sith where like Yoda...
Chewbacca.
Yeah, where Yoda says, and I'll miss you most of all, Chewbacca. It's like, why did you have to say it like that, you fucking weirdo? Like, I know Yoda talks weird, but he doesn't, like, accentuate people's names. Sorry. Fucking Star Wars pisses me off from time to time.
I don't blame you.
Like, I love Star Wars, though. But,
Alright, Star Wars... Honestly,
we gotta keep focusing.
I'm in an abusive relationship with Star Wars. It's just every time I feel like I'm sick of their bullshit, I still come crawling back.
Yeah. Either way, back to this, and she, like, Sarumi's questioning everything she's doing for her whole life now. She's like, I don't know if I've been doing the right thing up until now. And she wants to know the truth about the Desire Grand Prix and everything. And Ace tells her his wish, which is for his mother to be free and happy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's his wish. It's finally one of those wishes where it's like, it's not him trying to get something. He now has a goal. You know what I mean? Like, this is the first one that you don't feel like is one more step towards a scheme. This is the last one.
He's like, no, I'm going for broke.
Exactly. Like, I'm very curious. Like, again, this is the end game. This is the final arc. So you have first Desire Grand Prix, second Desire Grand Prix, the Disaster Saga, I'm going to call it.
Yeah.
Which then immediately gets interrupted by
the Jamato
Grand Prix, and now we're in the Desire Royale.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, this is going to be very interesting, and you literally see Siru just being like, alright, let's watch these fuckers kill each other for it. And that's kind of where we get the flashback of, then we immediately start seeing the start of the Desire Royale, and it's literally Sarah and Neon running into each other, and them both admitting that they can't kill each other, they don't want to kill each other, so they kind of are just like, whatever. And she explains that Kawa was not picked to be a rider this time, and that she's being a rider in his place.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And who's the motherfucker that shows up but Nudge Goddamn Sparrow?
By the way, did you expect him to be the one of those like one of the what I would like to call the jobber riders?
Honestly, no.
Like, did you expect him to be the one that
When
last?
I mean, I feel like I was like, oh, he's gonna be around for a while once.
Baroba snatched
yeah,
him up.
once like he was like with Baroba and everything. That's why I was like, okay, yeah, he's around to stay. But damn, I was like, fucking god damn it.
I hope he dies.
Again, I hope he just dies brutally.
But apparently he hasn't gotten flowers, so he
We'll
might
see.
find a way. He might find a way.
To nudge ahead for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm about to say, Lopo definitely didn't enter this one.
They look at them, they're just like, fuck no.
Fuck no.
But while this is going on, Kekara actually starts talking to
To
Keiwa.
Keiwa. And he's just like, hey, you want to see something cool? And he's like, what the fuck? And he's just like, all right, let's watch TV. And it's literally like...
The Desire Royale. Like,
yeah, he's showing fucking Keiwa that his sister is getting her ass kicked by Nudge Sparrow.
and Neon.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't know her.
I
at
guess
the
he doesn't...
moment.
Well, he knows of her. Because her sister's a fan, remember?
I guess. And then, like, he immediately is just like, oh, the humanity!
Oh, God!
Like,
She's
if-
getting her ass handed to her.
And exactly, he's like, hey, do you want to help her? And he's just like, here's a tycoon box. Now here's your driver.
They'll put it on.
Yeah, exactly. So he now enters the Desire Royal. And
Royal.
whatever. And this is where we both all started to feel where it's like, oh, Kekara, are you being sinister as shit?
Yeah, because once Keiwa does
Like, come in.
and, like, start to...
Like, he's ready to kill Nudge Sparrow.
Oh, yeah. He's ready for it.
And he literally actually says...
Kekara is
well,
actually watching this.
Well, Kekara says that his sister joined so he could be happy. She wanted you to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And everything. And as soon as we see him leave and, like, go to kick Nudge Sparrow's ass, you see...
I hope into next week.
You see Baroba... You see Baroba immediately at
Chilling
Keiwa's
on the
couch with Keiwa, and it's like, and then her and Kekara are just watching all of this unfold, and he says humans grow radically when in the depths of despair.
And
And we felt very sinister about this, but it wasn't until we were doing like a second watch through.
and we were like talking about it too.
That, and it's like it just came like it's like
You were the one that noticed it.
exactly. It was just like and this is the line that tipped me off of what he actually is trying to do. He's like, the key to changing Keiwa is his sister, and it's literally now he's putting her in place, not to be like.
So also before like you get started, I want to give like the contrast of like what we thought was going on. We thought that it's like he was basically like Baroba, or how Zine used to be, of just like, I am chasing this feeling that you give me, and I don't care about anything else. Like, she wanted to see suffering, Zine wanted to be moved, and he's just like, oh, I like your misadventures, you make me laugh. Oh, I can't laugh at this. And then we saw this, it's like, oh, is he just as bad as her? He just wants to, like, he just had a more wholesome feeling that he liked to feel, but that doesn't make him any better. So that's what we thought was going on.
Yeah, and then it hit me when he said that, is to changing his sister. He is giving him where he now has to have the resolve to win. He literally is now made it that, where he's like, I need to push him further. He's like, it's gonna be shitty, but like, to get him to like have like to make sure he knows he has to get the W, I have to throw his sister in. But that's also what entices Baroba, because
that's the ultimate suffering.
Yeah,
not only is like she remembering her parents, he's remembering all the things that he's gone through, especially everything he learned with the goddess. He's also seeing just how much danger his sister is in, and also he's more than likely going to see her die. So she's like, ooh, juicy.
Exactly. And it's like Kekara used that to his advantage, but he's also just like,
that is
I need to get him to win.
Like, he needs to win before Geats, because if Geats or Buffa wins, who I guess you could technically you could say are on their opposing side, if like for their own reasons, of like, because they want to use the goddess for their wish and they want to destroy everything right now. So if they win, despite the fact that they're the strongest players and they're constantly fighting, they have to make sure that they win first. And so because they know there's no going back after this if they win. Those are the two strongest people, the only two people that have won in a while. How is he going to get the drive to do something like that? His sister, she's going to be dying. And we also with the knowledge of if they die, they can never become a writer again.
Exactly. Like,
and who knows, like, it's like how that would affect her.
Exactly. And it's one of those things where it's like when I realized that, where it's like it felt a lot less sinister to me, where it's like he's doing almost a really shitty thing, but he's like, this
is the only way you're going to be able to do it.
Yeah, this is the only way I'll be able to push you to get strong enough to win.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so interesting, because then Buffa immediately walks in just being like, I'm gonna fucking murder you all in one hit. And, like, Nudge Sparrow's immediately like, I'm fucking out. And, like, right before he could kill Buffa, like, Buffa
and
could kill
Tycoon, who
Tycoon
was getting beaten.
Yeah, so Tycoon, Nyago, and his sister are about to get fucking killed by Buffa's chainsaw sword, with Geats then sliding in to just be like, hey, these are my soba eating buddies, you can't kill them. Yeah, I need them. And we actually do see a conversation between, and just showing that they're going to be on opposing sides. And I don't get why Ace didn't talk about it more.
Yeah, that was one thing that frustrated me. Of like, he's the only one, except for Buffa, who doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He's the only, and who wouldn't be exactly spreading the good word of, like, you know, what Geats' intentions. Like, nobody except for Geats knows that the goddess is being forced to do this. That is why he is, like, completely blind and saying that she is, like, blindly, like, just being like, no, I need to free her. She doesn't, and she's blameless.
Well, yeah, to be fair, that's true, but...
And Kei was just like, no, she needs to be punished for her crimes. And we actually do see what Keikara's lesson coming in, because he's like, no, I need to win, because if you do that, there's still so many people that are dead and not coming back. I need to revive them first. And the Geats is just like, no, I'm releasing her now. You can't just keep... I'm not going to let you use the Desire Grand Prix. I'm not going to let you use her like that.
Well, yeah, it's like... That's not right.
It's a good resolve on both ends.
Well, it's like, yeah, it's just like you can both see why both are at their peaks.
I truly feel like it's gonna come down to Geats versus Tycoon.
It might, but honestly, like I said, if he gives a, like, because I feel like even if Ace frees, because of what Keiwa wants, I could almost see that her doing it. You know what I mean? I feel
like she's gonna be very endgame, but I don't.
Yeah, we don't even know how she's gonna be as a character.
Maybe she'll even be top 3, but I don't think she is going to win.
Oh, that's not even who I was talking about. I was talking about the Desire God.
That's true though.
I was talking about the Desire God.
What?
I was talking about her.
What about her? What?
I was saying, I'm like, I bet you if Geats frees her and what Keiwa wants, if he just talked to her, she'd be like, yeah, I could do that.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
I honestly feel like hers is the most selfish out of them. Like, it makes sense.
Like, Neon's not winning this.
Yeah.
Like, I have never felt, like, I'm sorry to Neon fans, but, like, I've never felt a Desire Grand Prix where she would even get close to winning.
If she truly wants to just erase herself off of the internet and have people not miss her, she could just go on and say some racist shit on the internet, and then people won't be feeling too sad when she's gone.
Or she could go to, like, one of the...
She should cancel herself strategically.
Yeah, or go on Blip or something. Do you remember Blip?
No? What the fuck is Blip?
Oh, you don't remember Blip? It was an old video site. It died years ago.
Maybe I've heard of it in passing. But anyway, is that pretty much the episode?
That's pretty much it. And then we get the
I felt betrayed by the frog for, like, days.
Yeah, it's like, it took me a minute, but when it hit me, I was like, oh, he's doing this on purpose. Mm-hmm. It's like, he has a reason. As shitty as it is, it's like, you can't even say what he's doing is selfish either, because he's just like, I need this kid to get the W.
Not only that, but, like, think about, like, why he wants him, because he likes his wishes, just like, he wants to revive
He's like, you're a good person.
You're trying to do good things. You deserve to win, and you're trying to do this ultimate good thing before it's gone.
Too late.
Before it's too late. Like, before these people are gone forever.
And I'm very interested to see where we're going to go moving forward. Again, I hope Nudge Sparrow dies. From what I hear, he might.
He's the one that puts an asterisk. It's like, except Nudge Sparrow.
He puts an asterisk. Because literally one of the things that Nudge Sparrow says is... Sarah was like introducing herself to her, and like I love Neon has this face of like, don't talk to him, and he's just like,
don't give him any information.
And he's immediately just like, oh, I see the family resemblance. Well, since your brother's not here, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
It's funny you say that because you also kept seeing Oni's sister every once in a while.
Well, yeah, I kept being like, I'm like, why do you look familiar? I'm like, oh yeah, Oni's sister.
By the way, that's Oni's sister's actress's actual sister.
Yeah. So, and hey, she's a writer.
And
one was a ranger, one is a writer. Good for them. Good for their family.
One
Diversify
ranger,
that
one's
portfolio.
a writer. Now they need to have another sister so they can be an ultra woman.
Maybe you're about to say maybe they do have a sister. Who knows? Or mom. I don't know. Somebody. Diversify your portfolio, kids. And again, it was a really great episode.
What's the rule?
The rule is the surviving desire god gains the right to decide the fate of the world, whether to have the Desire Grand Prix or not. That's what we end on. I don't even remember the preview for next episode.
God.
Like, I legitimately
Such good episodes for different reasons.
Exactly. Both blazed past. Like, I can't even say which one won because it's just...
They're both really good.
Yeah, exactly. They're both just like, I'm like sitting there, I'm just, damn, that was good. Meanwhile, we should probably have watched King Oger second. Honestly.
Probably.
Because it was very depressing. Geets got sad.
Ugh. And you know what's the sad part? In between this and the very, very end of the show, I guess, there's going to be a whole lot of death and carnage. You
probably
just know
from Buffa.
A lot of it's going to be from
Ace,
Buffa.
Ace might kill some motherfuckers.
Probably.
He's not against killing people. He's like, I don't know you. Unless he'll just, like, I guess destroy their ID cores and that'll be fine, I guess. I think. I don't know. But, yeah. I guess that's it. What were your guys' favorite moments down in the comments? Like, again, Jeremy just bit the dust. Like, there were just so many good scenes and fight scenes in this whole, like, week. Like, the King Oger fight scenes are always phenomenal. The Legend King Oger fight scene was kind of neat. Well, like, again, I wish there was a little bit more, but it was, like, I also got it because it was supposed to be like, oh, they're legitimately using God. So I'm like, I get it. So its powers are broken, so it's just, like, it's going to end with the snap of their fingers.
Yeah.
But, like, so it's like, I'm not saying it was bad. I'm like, I'm just like, I wish I had more, but that's just... It's being greedy, if we're gonna be honest. And Geet's just like Buffa just annihilating everything in his path, like
an immovable object, an unstoppable force.
Well, yeah, we even saw Geet's just literally use his super speed to his advantage because he hit him in the back and he was like, "I'll get you," and then he got the guy, everyone out of there.
Yeah, it's basically like brick. It's like the tank versus the speed.
Yeah.
The brick wall and the speedy. I don't know. You used a term. It was better, but
either way, that was a good time. Do you have any final thoughts?
Just thanks so much for listening. We're really getting into the end game with Geets. I'm depressed. Ryu Soldier gives me life, makes me less depressed.
Ryu Soldier?
Oh, I'm sorry, fucking King Oger.
So yeah.
Look, man, two medieval shows. They're the same, right?
Yeah, but this one's way more medieval than the other one.
Probably why I like it way more. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Hope you had a good time.
And until next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.